Greetings everyone! For this episode, we will be cruising the streets of Cairo, Egypt, and visit a papyrus factory to see how the history of paper began. Let's go!
Cairo is the capital city of Egypt, located in the north of the country, on the banks of the Nile River. It is the largest city in Africa and the Arab world, with a population of over 20 million people.
Cairo is known for its ancient history, including the Pyramids of Giza, the Sphinx, and the Egyptian Museum.
The architecture in Cairo is a mix of old and new, with ancient mosques and palaces alongside modern skyscrapers.
Overall, Cairo is a fascinating city with a rich history and culture, and is a must-visit destination for anyone interested in Egyptian history and culture. Let us now see the art of ancient Egypt exhibited on the papyrus. This is a papyrus factory located in Cairo.
Papyrus is a type of paper made from the pith of the papyrus plant, which was once commonly used in ancient Egypt as a writing material.
The papyrus plant was grown along the banks of the Nile River, and the stems were cut, sliced, and pressed into sheets that could be written on with ink.
Papyrus was used for a variety of purposes, including religious texts, administrative documents, and even personal letters.
Today, papyrus is still made and used for decorative purposes, such as creating artwork or souvenirs for tourists.
Take a glimpse on how this ancient writing substrate came into existence.
This is the working station for visitors to watch how papyrus is made.
And these are exclusive collections of Egyptian art that will really dazzle spectators. This is only about half of the size of the entire shop and factory.
Okay guys, so you guys are going to meet for today is Mona.
Mona.
I'm going to give you a full demonstration about the manufacturing of the papyrus paper out of this lovely plant, which is the papyrus plant. Then she's going to pick some of the scenes behind to be explained to you. Maybe the most important one of them is the final judgment that shows what happens in the afterlife. Okay? Enjoy your time with Mona, and I'll be waiting for the other group. I think I'm the one who's going to explain to them. Yeah. Okay? Great. Go ahead. You're lovely.
Okay guys, may I have your attention for a few minutes?
Sure.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to welcome you in our country and our papyrus gallery. So now, if you don't mind, I'm going to show you how we can convert this green plant into a paper, like this one. But first, I'm going to give you a brief idea about the plant itself. Okay. So actually, this is our Egyptian papyrus plant. It's a tropical plant, needs a lot of water and a sunny place to grow up. Also, in the ancient time, they consider it as a holy plant, a sacred plant for two reasons. The first one is the flower itself. It looks like the rays of the sun. So in the ancient mythology, it was a symbol of God, a moon god of the sun in the ancient time. The second reason, as you can see, that the stem of the plant, it has a triangle shape. So it looks like the pyramid, the symbol of eternity. Okay. For making the paper, we are going to use only the stem of the plant. It goes for 2 or 3 meters high, so we can use it for a large size, a medium size, or a tiny size like this one. After that, I will start by removing the green outer parts. So actually, we don't use this part for making the paper, but this part was very useful in their daily life. Because of the flexibility of this part, as you can see. Okay, so they wrapped it and they used it to make sandals, carpets, baskets, boats. Okay, but the most important thing done by this green part was the basket of Moses. Okay, it was safe to put it in a basket made from the papyrus plant for two reasons actually. The first one, as you can see, that the papyrus plant it's float on the water, so can goes easily on the river. See, floats. Yes, it floats. It doesn't. See. And the other reason that on the Nile we have the crocodiles and the hippopotamus, and both of them they don't eat the papyrus plant. Only the inner part that we're going to use it for making the paper, but first we're going to cut it into thin slices. But this part here is so fragile just because of the fibers, the water, and the sugar inside it. That's why that we need to tap a little bit on it using the wooden hammer like this. And rub and to crush the water out. Which will make the slices more flexible and stronger, okay, and not that fragile. But you still have some of the sugar inside the slices.
May nangangamoy budol na naman.
That's why that we're going to suck it again in natural water without any chemicals for 6 days. All what we're going to do is to change the water daily. The water will reduce the amount of the sugar inside the slices from 80% to just 20%. So it's gonna be thinner and more transparent and sticky. So we're going to use the 20% left as a natural glue to make the slices stick together naturally. And why that 20%? It's a perfect amount. Because with this amount of sugar, actually nothing will catch the paper, not the humidity or the bacteria or the ants. So it's going to be an everlasting paper. If you will have the chance to visit the Egyptian museum, you are going to find that we have papers coming from thousands of the years, nothing on it just like the new. The color will start to change from white to the yellow color after the 6 days, and to the brown color after 10 days. Okay. As long as we keep the slices into water, the color will be darker. Still the same quality, just difference between colors. After that, we are going to use two of the material pieces, and we are going to arrange the slices into horizontal and vertical lines. The slices will be overlapping. It's not woven, don't pinch them. So it's going to be like this till the end of the needed size. Okay. After that, we are going to cover it. We are going to put it just from the other side, the other way, overlapping again. See, this is the example. After that, we are going to cover it, and we are going to put the whole thing in the press for another 5 or 6 days again.
Just to come closer, please.
If you have enough time. Okay. You can stay here for 6 days.
Okay.
Okay? You are welcome all the time.
Okay, you provide us accommodation?
Yes, no problem. This is the hospitality of the Egyptians. Okay?
Let's stay then.
Okay, so during the time in the press, the two pieces of cotton will absorb well the water. So at the end, we are going to get a dry paper.
Magic.
Magic, yes, this is magic. So actually, this is a real natural organic paper without any chemicals at all, and it becomes one sheet, one unit just because of the sugar and the cellulose. The paper accepts any kind of colors and inks. You can use the aquarelle, the oil colors, or the acrylic with no harm. But how to know the difference between the real paper and the fake one? Because just like everywhere, you are going to find some kind of imitations, and they call it papyrus, but it's not a real papyrus. So first you are going to expose the paper to the light so you can easily recognize the horizontal and the vertical lines, because we need to have two sides for our real paper. Also, you can roll it and fold it with no damage. And guess what? It becomes a waterproof paper. It won't absorb the water, which makes the paper a perfect paper for all the kinds of colors and inks. After that, we are going to deliver the papers to the professional artists from the Faculty of Fine Arts, and they are going to draw all those scenes from what you are going to find in the Egyptian Museum, the tombs, the temples. Okay, so one of the most important scenes that you are going to find done on a papyrus paper, as your guide mentioned, it's going to be this story. And this is what they called it in the ancient time, the story of the judgment day, because they believed in resurrection and immortality. So they thought that's going to be just like a huge court. So on the top it's going to be the deceased, and he's kneeling in front of the 14 juries of Upper and Lower Egypt. He's making his confession. I didn't kill, I didn't lie, I didn't pollute the water of the Nile. So 7 of them believe that he's innocent, so they are carrying the key of life from him. The other 7 saw that he's guilty, so they are hiding the key. So in this case it's going to be a tie, and the story will start, because if one more is holding the key, he will pass directly to the heaven. If one less, he's losing his key, so they are going to send him directly to this man's to devour his heart, so it's going to be just like the hell. But the story starts when we have a tie. So they are going to send him to Anubis, the god of mummification and the protector of the other life in the ancient mythology. He's going to take him by his hand and stand with him in front of the balance of justice. From one side, he's going to put his heart and the feather of justice on the other side. If this one is guilty, he will have a heavy heart full of sins. So this mass will devour his heart, so it's going to be just like the hell, and the story will stop. But Anubis won't let him down. He's trying his best to push the feather on the other side to let him pass after the balance. So he is going to send him to Horus, the god of protection with the falcon head, and Horus will let him entry to the paradise to meet his father, the god Osiris, god of the paradise. Behind him, the 2 goddess sisters, Isis, goddess of love, and Nephthys, goddess of beauty. The one with the ibis head, this is Thoth, god of writing and wisdom. He records all the questions and the answers. And guess what? This monster here, actually, it's a triple monster, with the head of crocodile, the first body of a lion, and the second body of an hippo. So those are the 3 wild animals that you are going to find on the Valley of the Nile. Also, we have the story of the Tree of Life, and this is a typical scene for all the stages or the periods of our life and the family, because each bird is representing one of the periods of our life: infancy, childhood, youth, maturity, old age. So this is from right to left. From left to right is going to be the family. It's going to be the father with the crown of wisdom and the mother with the open wings of protection, and they are looking after their sons and daughters. So some of the people, they like to get the names of the members of their family written around the tree with the hieroglyphic letters, just to make it a family tree. So this is the hieroglyphic letters. This is the ancient way, just like the cartouches that you have here. Okay?
Explain this.
Yes, let me get my glasses so I can. Okay.
It's the initial of my name.
So it's gonna be RBA.
M.
RBM, this is an owl, yes. And the flower of lotus at the bottom.
Meaning?
So this is gonna be so this R is for a funny person.
Funny.
Yes. B for somebody who likes to travel. M, this is a wise person, because they use the owl just like the symbol of wisdom.
Very good, Pastor. Nice.
Wise.
How much?
Okay, so also the round zodiac.
Sold.
This is the first calendar ever. The French people, they have this one in the Louvre Museum in Paris. So in the ancient time, they needed to calculate the time, so they create this circle, and they put the double figures of Horus for the 4 directions: east, west, north, and south. And the 4 ladies for the 4 seasons, the 12 persons for the 12 months of the year, and the side is going to be all the zodiac signs.
These animals were often depicted in various art forms, such as wall paintings, temple reliefs, and amulets.
They say that we call them the horoscopes just because of the name of Horus, the god of protection, the one who's holding the sky. So even the name
The Egyptians also used astrological symbols in their art. These symbols were often used to represent certain planets or stars. For example, the Eye of Horus was a symbol of the planet Jupiter, and the Ankh symbol represented the planet Venus.
Ayan, the first horoscope.
Overall, the art of horoscopes in Egypt was an essential part of their culture and religion. The Egyptians believed that by understanding the position of the stars and planets, they could gain insight into the future and make better decisions.
Oh, it's a video.
Like,
share,
subscribe. Like,
share,
subscribe. Like,
share.
subscribe.